welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Suzanne and I'm a pet portrait and wildlife artist. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to start your line drawing to create your very own pet portrait. I used the transfer method when I completed this one recently, and that's the method that I use in all of my portraits. There's no right or wrong, it's just personal preference. There is other ways that you can do, such as the grid method or freehand, but for me it's just the most accurate, precise and quickest way to get down that reference. Today's video we're going to be using Tank's reference photo, and we're going to create the line drawing for this one for my next commission. We'll be working on pastel matte paper, such as these. These are the 24 by 30 pads. They do come in single sheets in different sizes and also come in different colours. Like for instance, number 2 comes in a selection of 4 different colours. This is the number 4 pad with those colours, and the number 1 pad. And I will be using the dark grey, which is one of my favourites from this pad today. There is also, I think, a green one and a white one as well. Once we've got those, we also need some tape. This one is quite a low tack tape, so it won't rip the paper. You can use masking tape, and if you do find it's a little bit too sticky, you can take a little bit extra off through your clothes. Transfer paper, I do have the white and the black. Today we're going to be using the black one for Tank's drawing, but if I was going to be doing like a white dog or a cream one, I would use the white transfer paper. There is other colours available that you can use, but these are the only 2 that I've got. And then also you'll need a coloured pencil, so when we're doing the when we're making the marks, you can see where you've already gone, so then you're not going to repeat over the same line again. But yeah, I will then show you in the next bit how we do that, and hope you enjoy. So let's get into it. So with this one, I've already popped it into Photoshop and resized it to the correct measurement that I'm wanting. The amount we want to do next is take a piece of pastel matte. This one, like I said before, is the dark grey, one of my favourites, and that's the one that we're going to be using for Tank's portrait. Then you want to pop reference photo on top. I do send mine out mounted when I've done a portrait with a backing board, so they're literally ready to just pop in a frame. So I just wanted to make it easy for myself that it's in the right place, and that means I don't have to do much trimming afterwards. Well, now we want to be leaning on a hard surface, so here I've stuck down both the reference photo and the pastel matte to my table. Now there is a right and a wrong side to the transfer paper, so making sure that you've got the darker section facing downwards and the light section up. I'm not sure if anyone else's is different, but that's how mine is. Now I always start off in the eyes, and it's one thing that you really want to make sure is in the right place. So using the orange pencil, you can use a pen or anything else, just anything that shows up so you can see where you've already drawn, because the last thing you want to do is carry on drawing over the same thing. Now you might have to kind of mess about a bit with the pressure that you apply. If you go too light, then you're not going to see very much. If you go too dark, then sometimes it can be a problem if you're using lighter colours and it's not going to cover up properly. Because one thing that you cannot do with pastel matte is you cannot use a rubber. You cannot rub the surface because it just damages it. However, you can actually use, if you've got a putty rubber, you can dab. So if you dab on top of the pencil mark, if it does go a little bit darker, it will lift some, but just do not rub it. What I'm looking for is change in direction of fur or colour, so we're just trying to make a layout really of where we see the subtle changes, and that's just going to help us later on when we're blocking in the colour. We don't have to do every line, every hair, it's just about getting those key details in. And just keep having a look, keep lifting up the sheet, checking in the area that we're working now, is there any key details that you've missed, would you like to add anything, and not going too serious, so we don't want solid straight lines everywhere. Just try to be loose and not so perfect. At the end of the day, this is just an outline. All of these lines are going to get covered up, so it's not the end result. It's just basically there as a guideline to help us block in the colour. Now, some of you already might know, but I'm not big on background. So in this portrait, it's basically just Tank. There's no background behind, although the little part in between his paws where he's resting on, if it's the couch or I'm not sure, I am going to put that darker detail in there, so they will have, it's not just going to be like stood up floating with his legs in midair. But yeah, in regards to the background, I'm not going to be drawing in any of that. It's just basically its outline and the key details. One thing to consider when picking a reference photo is how that portrait will look without any background, and I might do a video on this later on with things that I've learned along the way, what to look out for in reference photos and how to pick the best ones. What we don't want is for the animal to look like it's just floating in midair, or the position. Sometimes it looks great and you think, oh, that's a great reference photo, but then if you're not including the background, things can kind of look a little bit odd that you won't notice until you've done it. But yeah, I digress, so we'll leave that one for another video. I did notice that I have gone a little bit hard with the tongue. You'll see it when we next lift up the paper, but I probably will have to lift that slightly with the putty rubber, but it should be fine. We've got a dark area around it, so it shouldn't be a problem. Just be careful as well with the transfer paper. It does easily mark, so if you catch a ring on it or something falls on, or even my bracelets, if you rub against it, it will obviously transfer underneath, and if it's an area, say if you're not doing a background, then it can become a bit of an issue. But yeah, just be mindful. So I think it's pretty much there, really. I remember when I first started doing this, I would spend ages and ages and ages getting all the little details in, but with more and more practice, you tend to put less lines in, so don't worry. Just take your time and yeah, it'll be fine. Peel off the tape, and again, just be careful when you're lifting up that transfer paper that you don't press on too hard in the corner and make any marks at this point. Then from here I'd switch to my iPad and use the reference photo on there, as it's a lot clearer and more detailed and easier to work from. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Please give it a like and subscribe if you've not already, as it really does help out my little growing channel. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them in the box below, or if there's anything that you'd like me to show you in the future, just let me know. But thanks for joining. See you soon. Bye bye.